am I here for this panel? I'm a big fan of the show. And a couple months back, I got to go and watch a taping of the show. I was invited to watch taping, which was great. We then provided them with a giant heap of Hellboy merchandise, so from every angle in the comic book store, you can catch sight of Hellboy. That was cool. But then the coolest thing ever, which I had no idea was coming, is that they wrote Hellboy for, I think Jim asks for a copy, or somebody gives something away, or it's just, there's this moment where Hellboy gets mentioned by Jim. And that was really one of the coolest things, especially when you have a 15-year-old girl who's like, Dad's cool for like 10 seconds because I mentioned him on Big Bang Theory. So the best I can tell is that's why I'm here. So I have to introduce everybody. First, creator and executive producer Chuck Lorre. Creator and executive producer Bill Brady. He plays Leonard Hofstetter, Johnny Galecki. He plays Sheldon Cooper. She plays girl next door, Penny, Kaylee Cuoco. Howard Wolowitz, Simon Halbert. And Raj Kutrapali, Kunal Nayar. Now I want to turn the questions over to you guys as soon as possible, but the one question I have, since so much of our cast here plays such convincing nerd, science fiction, science guys, how many of you guys were really into that stuff? And Kaylee, do you really know as little about that stuff as you convincingly play on television? Johnny?
Yes.
You played a comic book artist once upon a time.
I did a lot of sketching as a kid. Elf Quest was a big favorite of mine.
Don't pretend like you know what that is.
And I was a massive Star Wars fan. Still am.
Jim?
Yes, sir.
How about you?
I did the whole Star Wars thing as a kid, and that's really as far as I got into any of this, I think, except that I wanted to be a meteorologist for a little while, and that was as sciencey as I got.
I mean, have you done a lot of science? I mean, the science stuff you deliver in those gigantic long monologues is pretty amazing. Do you know what you're talking about?
Well, seriously, only to the degree of why is Sheldon bringing this up? Why would he be bringing this up? In part of the conversation. But it doesn't take very long to look at that science stuff to realize that you don't have the mental capacity to get it. I mean, and I don't mean that I'm stupid. I literally mean that it's a very, very specialized brain that's doing all that, and only drives home the point of how special these minds are that we're playing. So, short answer, no, I really don't. I have a very base knowledge to get through the scene. Kaylee?
No. I wasn't into all this stuff, but I have to say, last year being the first time I was at Comic-Con, all of us, you all opened me to a whole new world. Yes. And I really appreciate it.
I know.
This is a whole, now I know a little bit more about this. It's not on you, so yeah. Simon?
Well, for me, it's a huge stretch to play the nerd. Kind of a role of a lifetime, actually. I was really into. Can you tell? I'm noise.
Katie's like, what's that?
You gotta be careful yelling out noise. I was into Star Wars, and I carried around a little, I guess, Luke Skywalker toy that I called my man, and I once cried because I left my man in the car. My man, I called him my man. M-A-N.
M-A-N?
Yeah, so never leave your man in the car, because tears will ensue.
I think that's what the Marines say, isn't it? That's Marine.
Yeah, or at least crack the windows, I guess.
Yeah, I really like Star Wars. I had a Millennium Falcon while growing up, which was pretty cool. And then I actually recently saw someone's Mazda Miata with a little R2-D2 that they had built in the trunk, which I thought was pretty cool.
For those of you guys that are fans of the stuff, has any of that worked into the show? Have you guys been able to bring in some of the stuff that you wanted to reference or mention, or?
Yeah. I think we could get fired for doing something like that.
Well, that brings us to the guys who could fire you, I guess.
We can get fired.
Big Bang Theory has been renewed for 2 more seasons. How was that, hearing that news?
Well, you know, the renewal goes back a year ago to here. After the writer's strike, we were just this baby show, and we came here, and you guys just surrounded us with so much support and love, and we went back into last year with a lot of enthusiasm, and there was no strike, and we got to do a whole year, and so, you know, I don't know, it just, the 2-year pickup, it has a lot to do with this, you know, feeling like there was people out there that got what we were doing and cared, so thank you.
We talked about writing a Comic-Con high last year for a long time, and what was really cool, you know, because I'm a big fanboy. I mean, I'm a Star Trek fan and many other things. And, it's amazing to be on the other side of that kind of relationship with fans. Something that you're working on, that where, you know, people seem to treat our show, you know, not like a sitcom, but like a sci-fi show or something that has characters that are invested in that way. And that's just, I have to say, I mean, it's sort of just a thank you to you guys. It's been,
You're part of our conversation every day.
Every day.
How will this go over?
How will this play at Comic-Con?
I was going to ask that, after San Diego last year, did you write in like the comic book store episode and stuff like that as a result of this, or you'd already planned all that?
The comic book store was sort of a natural outgrowth of the character's interest.
Yeah.
This is not a coffee shop show.
Yeah, that's
You know what? I just said that to Chuck when we took the train out this morning. I said, you know what clip we forgot was what happens at Comic-Con stays at Comic-Con and Goofy Polly's misadventures. So maybe he's having more this year. We don't know.
This fall you're moving to Monday 9:30. Okay, good? What are your feelings about that?
You guys followed us when they put us on at 8, and that's what kept us alive. You know, we did 8 shows before the strike took us out in our first season, and then when the strike was over, CBS put us on at 8 o'clock, and I thought that might be the end of it. And you followed us and kept us alive, and that's when we got the 2-year pickup, when we did well at 8. The 9:30 time slot, there's a certain innocence to these characters that we want to maintain. This is not 2.5 Men.